This is unbelievable. I can't believe this. Everybody said to me, they said, Ricky, why are you going up to New England for? To Ridgefield, Connecticut. I said, I got to because I know that Billy Crystal is on tour and he's going to be hosting Friday Night Videos. And this is unbelievable because I have never been out of Brooklyn before. Except one time I went to the Bronx, which was not like a great big deal. Just got to like go over a couple of bridges and some bodies and you're there, you know? But this is amazing. Could this be more quaint? Could this like have more white houses every place you look? I seen this place that said, Washington slept there. I said, I better wake him up and see if I can find Billy, because I got to talk to him. See, I went to high school with him, and oh, no, is that him? This is unbelievable. Hey, Billy! Hey! Hey! Billy! Hey, kid, you got to wait for the stop sign to change? Uh-oh. Hey, come on. Bill! Hey! I'm going to be about 90 minutes, all right? Billy! Oh, no, am I going to get, like, run over by, like, a cart or something? Billy! Oh, no. Hey, Bill! Oh, Billy! Wait for me! Oh, Billy, it's me, Ricky. Remember we locked Senorita Santoni, the Spanish teacher, in the closet together? It was me. Huh?
Tonight on Friday Night Videos, one of America's most popular comedians, Billy Crystal, returns to NBC with Simple Minds, Sheila E., Mr. Mister, Thompson Twins, Dream Academy, Starship, and Fernando.
Hi, I'm Billy Crystal, and I'm delighted to be here this Friday night for Friday Night Videos. I've been having trouble saying Friday. It keeps coming out like Elmo Fuzz, like Friday Night Videos. Oh, here's one coming up now. So I've been having trouble saying Friday Night Videos. Got it. Don't worry, the door's locked. Ricky won't get in until maybe later, I hope.
Oh, no. 1 hour parking, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. All right, I'll stay for an hour. I'll go and I'll come back, so don't put that chalk mark on the bottom of my feet.
Fernando started when I used to watch Fernando Lamas on The Tonight Show. I loved his style. I loved the fact that he would sit there and for 10 minutes fix the crease in his pants before he would say hello to Johnny. And I loved this Spanish macho thing that he had, and he was a very, very brilliantly funny man. He had a great wit. And I was drawn to that character, and when I had my own show at NBC in 1982, I created Fernando's Hideaway, where I would improvise with the guests, and that later we brought to Saturday Night Live, and it was, again, great fun. You get to improvise. The great thing about doing Fernando's Hideaway was you got to get the host to be himself. And for me, it was wonderful. And I did Hideaways with Ringo, Cosell, Roger Ebert, and Gene Siskel. And I think my favorite one was with Hulk Hogan and Mr. T, because there were these two big guys with these enormous chests. And Fernando said to Hulk Hogan and Mr. T, "Darlings, what are your plans for Passover?" And they started to giggle, and they broke up. And what happens is, these big, tough guys, nobody ever saw them laugh before. And they were themselves, and I think that was a great enjoyment for the audience, that they saw these two big guys melt and be real. And to me, that was my favorite Hideaway. And to interest to you rock and roll fans, and you know who you are, Fernando got to talk to Ringo Starr, and of course, he sees a Beatle, and he asked him, "You enjoy working in television?" Ringo said yes. "How do you hook up a VCR? I am having such trouble taping something and watching something else. This Beatle thing, it really took off, didn't it? Do you get residuals from that?" I mean, he had no idea what was happening. And then one night, we had Barry Manilow scheduled to be a guest in the Hideaway, the real Barry Manilow. And Barry was playing Radio City, which was right across from the studio where we did Saturday Night. Barry, unfortunately, couldn't make it at the last minute. He canceled on us. So we didn't know what to do. So we looked around for somebody to be in the Hideaway. We didn't want to cancel it. And we found a man named Bobby Faraccio. Now, Faraccio is a member of the crew. He's a large man. He has his own climate. And he would be the crane driver. And so he weighs a lot of weights. And we got him to portray Barry Manilow and be in the Hideaway, because I hate to disappoint my fans, and you know who you are. So I asked Faraccio every question I would ask Barry Manilow. I asked him, what is it like being a sex symbol? And this huge, sweet guy, he was fabulous, said, It's very tough for me, Fernando. I don't get it. I'm a skinny kid with no tush and a big nose. This man has 9 tushes. So it was hysterically funny. And he was sweet and he was great. Ferraccio, I miss you, darling. Champ, if you're out there, if you're listening to me, why do this? Why fight again? You have nothing to prove. You were the greatest of all time. Yeah, Howard, but it's just a chance to get in the ring, loosen up, and not fight for money, not just to give up everything. I'll fight Joe Frazier, because I beat Joe Frazier 2 out of 3. 3 out of 4 sounds better, because I'm still the greatest of all time. I hope he doesn't do it. I personally, now don't throw anything at me now, because we're friends at this point. I miss Howard Cosell. When there's a big game, when there's something on the line, you want to hear that voice. I mean, I love all these sportscasters and everybody. They're some really great people. But I miss hearing that. Howard, to me, was always our Walter Winchell. For those of you who don't remember him, if you're too young to remember him, if you see reruns of The Untouchables, he's the guy who says, later that day, Ness was seen at the home of Jake Gusick in Cicero, Illinois. That was Walter Winchell. So to me, Howard was always that man who took a stand and was different. And I miss him. Oh, I love when this happens. Willie's pretty happy now. He misses Frankie. He hasn't seen Frankie in a long time. Willie and Frankie were the guys who said, I hate when that happens, and would do strange things to their bodies, which I played with one of my best friends and the brilliant performer, Christopher Guest. We stumbled into this. It was for the Jesse Jackson show, and it was late one night, and often was a time we'd be writing till 2 or 3 in the morning, every morning, to try and get live pieces for the show. So we had been fooling with these guys, and I said to Chris, I said, let's write up Willie and Frankie. So he said, no, it's too weird. So I said, please. So we started going back and forth, and it got into, you know, when I take that meat thermometer, yeah, and I put it in my ear, and I take one of them ball-peen hammers, yeah. So we would go back and forth like that. And we could not look at each other. Chris and I look at each other, we start giggling. We just go, we can't look at each other. So if you ever see a repeat of the Jesse Jackson show, you will see 2 actors for 3 minutes not look at each other once. One of the great pleasures of doing a show like SNL is you get to work with amazing people who you probably would never get to work with. Ringo Starr, to me, was the most special of all the people all year, because I was a Beatle fanatic growing up, and here he was. And I'm waiting in Dick Ebersole's office for Ringo to make his first appearance of the week. You should meet the host on Monday, and Ringo Starr walked in and said, hello, Billy. He knew my name. It was like amazing to me. And then we spent all this time together, and I got to sing a duet with him. Well, Sammy Davis got to sing with him, but I was inside there. And it was a great, great experience, because we would sit off to the side during rehearsal, and we would talk, and he would tell me how much he missed John Lennon, and how much he missed playing in the group. And to be inside the whole aura of the Beatles, to hear him talk so affectionately about John, who he really loved, was very moving to me. And it was a great 5 days that I spent with him. I'll never forget it. Towards the end of the season, You Look Marvelous was really established, and I thought, well, maybe I should do a song. And I was contacted by A&M Records to do an album, and I thought, well, I could make a single part of the album. So I called my good friend Paul Schaefer from Late Night with David Letterman, which is also on NBC, and we wrote the song together, which was nominated for a Grammy, which I'm thrilled about. Thank you. And then, you got a song, you have to have a video. So I contacted Jerry Kramer, who was responsible for Just a Gigolo, and which was David Lee Roth's, and we put together the You Look Marvelous video, which to me was one of the best times I've ever had. We wanted to have guests. We wanted to have Tina Turner and Grace Jones and maybe Prince, really there in the Hideaway dancing and having a great time. Well, we couldn't get anybody. So to save money, I decided to play them myself. So I called my brilliant makeup artist at Saturday Night Live, Peter Montagna, and I said, Peter, I want to do Grace Jones and Tina Turner. He said, what are you, nuts? And then we got started. He flew out with the pieces, and he sculpted them. He's quite an artist, and the result was I was able to play Tina, Grace Jones, Prince, Sammy, and Fernando, And You Look Marvelous, I'm very proud of. It's 3 minutes and 45 seconds of fun for me. Now that car is a real car. It's a stretch VW that has a pool. There's a pool in the back of that car that's 3 feet deep. The girls are optional. It's when they brought it, Jerry Kramer said, we have a big limo for you for the end. So I said, great. Then this thing shows up that you only can take aerial photographs of, much like Shelley Winters. And it was, I kid you, darling. And it was an amazingly long car. Could not make any turns. The car cannot make any turns because it's too long. I think it's 55 feet long with a 3 feet pool. It's going condo, this car. This is the biggest car you can ever see. But it's rock and roll. Buddy Young Jr. was, don't get me started on this whole video bit. These videos, I tell you, you can buy these videos, these cassettes any place. You can buy them any place, it's true. They sell these videos every place. I have my wife, she comes back from the gynecologist. She says, honey, I got cystitis and Amadeus. I said, is it serious? She said, positive, but the music is beautiful. Don't get me started on this whole thing. Buddy is the lounge lizard who plays little clubs in mostly New Jersey. And he was one of my favorite characters because I got to improvise. I got to usually set up a piece at the news desk, sitting next to Chris, and we'd be giggling, of course. And then a couple of shows, I would take the mic, a la Rickles or somebody, and walk into the audience. And a couple of nights was great because we found some celebrities who were coming to the show. And it was Waylon Jennings and Johnny Cash and Chris Reeve were sitting there. And I got a little loose, and why Saturday Night Live was fun for me was I used all of the years that I've been playing clubs to plug in and use myself. Not only were we playing scenes, but I could improvise, which was great fun for me. So look, I'm holding a mic now. Is this on? I tell you, this is wild. I walked up to Johnny Cash, and he had the hair and the thing. I said, Johnny, does Jack Lord know you have his hair? So it was fun. Buddy Young, he's on the road now in a 50s revival show opening for Fabian. But don't get me started on this whole bit. I tell you, it's too nuts. It's too wild. What does cheese say when it has its picture taken? You don't know. You don't know. Here's a new one from the Thompson twins. It's called King for a Day. None of them look alike. I don't get it. Twins should look alike. Thompson twins, King for a Day. One week I decided to play Prince on the show because Prince was very hot at the time, and USA for Africa, We Are the World had just debuted with all the great stars, Springsteen and Stevie Wonder and Cyndi Lauper and, you know, everybody. So we did a parody where I played Prince singing I Am Also the World, I Am Also the Children. And we had Mr. T and Hulk Hogan knocking out Gary Kroeger, who played Springsteen, and Pam Stevenson, who played Cyndi Lauper, and everybody was totaled. It was a very funny piece. And someone who was as mysterious as Prince in real life, you wait to hear their reaction. And it was months later that I heard in, I believe it was a Rolling Stone interview, that Prince had thought that that particular piece was one of the funniest things he had ever seen. And it's nice to know that when you do somebody and you really stretch yourself, that they like it. So I'm not worried I'm going to be beaten up anymore.
Next week on Friday Night Videos, a Valentine's Day special featuring NBC's most famous newlyweds. Felicia Ayres Allen, now Felicia Rashad of The Cosby Show, and NFL 85's Ahmad Rashad.
There's a lady that I'm in love with, and you know the lady as Claire Huxtable on The Cosby Show. What I'd like you to do is dispatch somebody. She's there in New York at the Macy's Day Parade. Now, this isn't all serious now. I would like to send this message to her. Felicia, would you marry me?
Yes.
Don't touch that dial. We'll be back with some stories. Après Super Bowl coming up here on Friday Night Videos, right here on NBC.